Organization, a person dies every 40 seconds by suicide worldwide, with 25 more people making an attempt at suicide. This puts the data of persons dying averagely per year to suicide at approximately 800,000, and Ghana has its fair share of this number. For each suicide, approximately 135 people suffer intense grief or are otherwise affected, and this amounts to 108 million people per year who are profoundly impacted by suicidal behaviour. Section 57, Clause 2 of the 1960 Criminal Code of Ghana states that attempted suicide is a crime, but some civil society organisations have called for the decriminalisation of suicide so that persons who have the intention to commit or are contemplating the act can come forward for help. Although suicide is not always predictable, it is a preventable public health problem. As Ghana joins the rest of the world in marking the World Suicide Prevention Day under the theme, Working Together to Prevent Suicide, the Mental Health Authority has called on government and other relevant stakeholders to resource the authority, particularly to be able to conduct baseline research on suicides in the country. This, according to the authority, would help to fully appreciate the extent to which suicides are hurting the country's economy and inform the type of policy and interventions required to deal with these numbers.
All right, so let's stay on this subject some more, as the World Health Organization has urged various governments to strengthen and devise strategies and programs aimed at preventing and reducing suicide. Well, currently, just 38 countries have clear-cut strategies on suicide prevention, and the United Nations Agency believe it's far too few. Well, as Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark World Suicide Prevention Day today, the news team spoke to a few people on our streets to get their thoughts on the link between academic failure and suicide in the wake of reports of suicide committed by students allegedly because of academic failure.
Queen Esther Samira Masri is a parent and believes some parents' high expectation of their children's academic performance puts pressure on the children. Thus, recent reports of suicides committed by students.
I don't think it's even right for you to force your child to get good grades. All you have to do is to pray for him, encourage him, and make sure he makes the right friends and hang out with the right people. As a parent, what you have to do is to protect your children, not to push them to the world. No, you need to bring them closer to you, because I'm a parent myself. My son is 19 years old. So I don't think it's right for any parent to force the child to get good grades.
Some students who spoke to the news team concurred that expectations to highly excel academically puts pressure on them, hence pleaded with parents to reduce the pressure.
As young people, as we are growing up, we look at a lot of things that is in our environment. We try to compare ourselves to other people, and then when we don't meet that kind of stage or that level, we are not enough to fit in. We don't fit into the current society. So I'm sure that's why some people think of committing suicide.
I think children, or even anybody who is well-minded to avert their minds to what life is, should know that life is a mix of things. There are highs and there are lows. There could be times when you will do so well in life. There could be times that you will come down. Thing is how you are going to manage your expectation, and when the low points come, how you are able to get out of it successfully. I think the government should also be doing more to get people sensitized on mental health issues. We are humans, and we don't go down only on medical issues. Sometimes we are drawn to our knees because of some psychological issues.
It is only fair that I hold a conversation on this crucial topic that most of the times people would want to just stay away from it. Well, joining me in the studio is Gloria Boatsema Ando, a suicide prevention activist. Again, I can describe her as a survivor. She's not the only one here in the studio. I also have Adwoa Pra, who's a counseling psychologist. Ladies, many thanks for joining me this evening. I must say it's an honor having you all here. Now, Gloria, I've had the opportunity to speak to you before call on this particular subject, but for the sake of my viewers, those who are joining us probably the first time seeing you, can you share with us what led you into tendencies of being suicidal?
Okay, so at the age of 18, I lost my dad. I used to be a daddy's girl. I was very close to my dad. So when I lost my dad, I thought, what's the point? This is a person that had promised me so much and was the one there for me, actually believing in me, and then he's no more. So I'm like, what's the point to live if there's no more?
Well, I can't say even interesting, sad rather. But you've been able to move from this stage into becoming an advocate, an activist. And the question is, are there lots like this?
Yes, there are lots like this, like our foundation. Because I deal with a lot of the youth, we go to the youth to talk to them about not taking their lives. We have text lines, and they text us and they call. The number of calls that comes through a day, you have no idea. It is actually happening. So it's not like it's something that we sit and we talk about it, that's suicide, and you go like, are you sure it's happening? I am a victim. It happened to me. And there are lots of people out there, the youth out there, that they are going through that. So it is something that is actually happening.
I want parents, somebody watching us with children, or somebody who's an adult already and is facing some challenge, share with me before I get the opinion of a counseling psychologist. So some of the calls that have come in, really, what are their concerns?
Okay,
some will say, it's a beautiful world, man.
Yes.
The world is too cool.
Yes, because we are different people. What will be cool for you would not be cool for me. Okay, you can be okay when things goes rough or things become rough. You can stand the test of time. I cannot. So it varies. We are different people, and how we are able to handle issues are different. So these youth go through financial problem, relationship problem. Yes, the financial
relationship,
problem.
and you want to kill yourself.
Yes,
heartbreak.
People actually call and go like, my boyfriend left me because he said I didn't put him on status on his birthday, and that's it. And she's actually taken it like a 23-year-old girl. I needed to talk to her to let her know that education comes first. You are too young to even think of killing yourself at this stage.
Okay, let me go to the crucial job of a counseling psychologist now. Ajua Prai, you're welcome to the studio. Let me bring you into the conversation now. So how come I've not seen a lot of you if this is happening?
Well, there are a lot of us because for almost all the universities, from University of Ghana, University of UCC, MUCG, all those universities run psychology courses, and from first degree to master's level. So you have people specializing as clinical psychologists after their MPhil, and people specializing as counseling psychologists after the MA. Now these people are there. Some people are working.
I am getting signals to pick a doctor on the line. Then I'll come back to you so that you can give me all the details. But a little bit of it is that decriminalization of suicide has been of great concern to stakeholders in mental health for a long time now. Dr. Kwesi Osei is the chief psychiatrist and the CEO of the Mental Health Authority. He joins me right now on the phone line. Doc, many thanks for joining me this evening. Let me find out from you now, why should anyone believe that attempting to commit suicide or committing suicide can be linked to the psychiatric problem or condition, hence needs to be decriminalized?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening, panel members and listeners. Well, there is evidence, research has gone on enough that a lot of people who attempt suicide or complete suicide, for every 100 cases, 93 to 95% of them had mental health issues.
Every 100 cases, over 90
mental health issues.
Wow.
So with these conditions, with this situation, then it becomes obvious that more or less attempted suicide is a feature of, or is a sign of an underlying mental health issue, or at the very time of attempted suicide had a mental health issue. Now, if that is the case, then is the solution jail such a person or to give him the help that the person requires? We think it requires, the person requires to be helped. Indeed, attempted suicide is in a lot of ways a cry for help. So if you can't give the person the help, do you jail him? That's why we are saying that it should be decriminalized. And worldwide, in fact, in Britain, where we copied our laws from them, they have decriminalized attempted suicide. They have expunged it from their laws, and we are still retaining it. So it needs to change. And as I said, because a lot have issues of mental health and blind, and that's why we link up with them.
So, Doc, you watch a lot of these people. Instead of bringing them to the psychiatric hospital, rather send to the police station and question and their situation aggravated. In your situation, what have you done, or what has your outfit done to ensure that the government heeds to this call?
As we see right now, we have a petition in front of Parliament and in front of the Attorney General. We petitioning them so that we can repeal or amend the law. So we're making a lot of effort. And we've made a lot of effort. In fact, we've trained about half of the judges at that time. There were about 400 judges. We trained over 200 of them, about 207. So that in the meantime that the law has not been repealed, at least if any such case comes to them, they will recognize that this person most likely or may well have an underlying mental health issue. Therefore, let's take him for assessment. And it's so that's okay. And also the place for them to recognize that. So instead of taking prosecution immediately, they'll take him for assessment. If evaluation says that there is nothing wrong mentally, then they can go ahead and prosecute. But if everything shows he has an issue, mental health issue, then we treat the mental health issue and not just prosecute.
All right, Doc, I'll allow you to go in just about a short while, but let me find out from you. Let's move to our basic school levels where I'd want to find out. So should guidance and counseling in schools be made compulsory periodically so that we would have the situation where people will seek help right from the basic school level or at the educational institutions level?
Yes, I think, in fact, right now, almost all schools have counseling, guidance and counseling centers. The only difference is that those are normally educational counseling. And it would be good to add the clinical counseling component so that they will be watching out for issues of mental health problems. So they will associate it alongside their educational counseling. And that will be very easy because I've already associated we have the counseling in almost all schools. They add a clinical component, and that's the same.
All right. Doc, I'm sincerely grateful for your time. I believe all that you explained very clear. We have an understanding here. Some guests in the studio, I'd want to engage them and seek their thoughts also. But tonight I can say a big thank you and would want you to continue with the advocacy of decriminalizing suicide and seeking for other options to it. Let me come back to the studio and engage Adwoa Pra. So Adwoa Pra, doctor gave me some frightening statistics where the situation of suicide, out of over 100, you have over 90 actually suffering from some setback mentally. And so it brings me to the point that do I refer them to a counseling psychologist or straight I send them to the psychiatric hospital?
The first point of call should be anybody who's going to give professional help. So if it happens in the schools, and a lot of these things happen in the schools, but they are not reported. The ones you guys hear about are just a few. If you permit me, I'll just read what one of our bosses just researched on. He's a suicidologist from the psychology department, head of department, University of Ghana. He says, out of two of a sample of more than 1,000 university students in Ghana engage in suicidal behavior, such as ideation, death wishes, suicidal planning, and suicide attempts. Now, if a researcher of his kind hadn't taken an interest in this area, would he have known these statistics? So when we receive this kind of statistics, when Winglo and other NGOs who are into suicide prevention hear about this, then we go into the schools. Then we reach out to the students. Yes, there may be counseling psychologists in the schools, but some of them double as teachers.
And so they are not able to focus on that.
Exactly. And you might have people who are not trained counselors, who are not trained psychologists, functioning as counselors. And some of them are very old. So you have a young girl who has a problem she wants to discuss with somebody like me or younger than me, feels like when I go and speak to madam, she'll judge me. She'll say I'm a bad girl. So people have advances at them in schools, they can't talk about it. But when we go and we speak to them, they're able to open up and talk to us.
From what you see, do you think there should be an overhaul? And you both can answer to this. So when you move to the schools and you see the system, the setup in counseling younger ones, do you think, no, this could not be the right way? We could adopt a best practice from elsewhere, probably what you've seen in Rwanda, in the United States of America or something. How deficient is ours?
Okay, once again, I'd want to lean on the research that has been done by the Center for Suicide and Violence Prevention, and also an association that is coming up, Ghana Association for Suicide Prevention. These are experts in the field of psychology and have specialized in suicidology and have researched thoroughly into this area. So we are working closely with the Mental Health Authority and the Ghana Education Service to be able to get this opening in schools so that it becomes mandatory for us to be able to go in there and share our ideas, help people so that people can receive help. Because sincerely, if somebody is going through depression, somebody is going through anxiety, and the person does not receive help, it is likely that he would find a quick solution to it. So it's important that these helplines are available so that the people can seek help rather than taking them to jail.
When you mention it, I get excited because I know people like Gloria and the team are actually on the field ensuring that people get this help. But we still need more.
Exactly.
So, Gloria, as we mark World Suicide Prevention Day, I mean, what critically are we looking at this time, and what are we focusing on?
Okay, all right. So, in Ghana, we are supposed to mark Suicide Prevention Day. So, what we did is that some of our team from the psychology department went to St. Mary's to talk to the youth about suicide, self-harm. They went through with them for them to understand. That is what we need. We need to go into the schools and talk to them. We need to let these youth know that life is not just smooth. It gets rough sometimes, but it doesn't mean that you should end your life. And the government needs to come in, because for all you know, it is your child we are talking to. It is somebody that is very close to you and is not talking to you. But what we tell them, normally they don't want to talk. But then when you push questionnaires, you'll be amazed.
The responses
that come in. So it's something that as a country, if we are marking the day, we should take it seriously. And everybody should come on board, because you might never know who is closer to you and is trying to commit suicide. So whilst we are hammering on these areas, then they come to learn, they come to understand that, oh, she's gone through before and she come out of it. It means that there is hope
for such a person.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you very much, ladies. Just before I go, 30 seconds, can you also share your thoughts on mental health itself? Because it looks like it's become a channel. Do you think the education is enough, and what should we do? If you can advise shortly, 30 seconds.
The education is not enough, and I'm particularly interested in how media personnel also broadcast the news of possibly suicide and other things that occur. People easily copycat what others have done. So I believe that as part of the training, we need to train counselors. We also need to train people like you, and we need to train reporters to learn how to report on suicide cases, so that whilst people are watching on the screen, they don't say, oh, okay, he did it this way, so I also want to do it, because people actually
also
going
in
through a
clear
lot.
language, if somebody has hanged himself, it's not good for the photojournalist to go take the picture, just cover it a little bit, but the person's still hanging in there for another person to see. All right, I've been interacting with Ajua Pra. She is a counseling psychologist, and also I've had the opportunity to engage Gloria Boatma. Gloria, many thanks for joining us. Ladies are into advocacy on suicide. Of course, we're celebrating World Suicide Day, but that will bring us to the end on Insight. All right, so let's do other stories. Now, leadership of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, has declared as illegitimate reasons given by 6 of the regional chairmen to embark on an industrial action. Well, they declared the strike in 6 regions over poor conditions of service. But the national executive said all the issues enumerated by the chairmen are still being discussed with relevant authorities.